You're listening to the Begin Within Health Show with Nate Slager. For more, go to beginwithin.fit/podcast, or to enroll right now in our flagship coaching program, go to beginwithin.fit/coaching. All right, welcome back to the Begin Within Health Show. I'm so glad you're here with me. Today is episode number 200. 200 episodes that we have produced, 200 times that I have sat down in front of this microphone to talk with you, as well to interview many experts in the fields of health and fitness, psychology, digestive health, all kinds of different experts that we've had here on the show. What I want to do here on episode number 200 is something that I did back on episode 100. And that is to recap the biggest lessons that I have taken away from the interviews that I've had with experts. So absolutely, no question in my mind, every single episode is so valuable and so great for helping each of us to move forward in health and fitness. But for me, there have been some very specific things, especially over the last 100 episodes, that I want to share with you. Things that have absolutely changed my life. They have changed my daily routines and habits. There's something in my life now that wasn't there before as a result of these interviews. And I've been at this a long time. I've been in the fitness industry for a long time, associating and talking with experts, reading, researching, getting training, and continuing education. So for me to pick up on these, I think is something that I want to definitely pass on to you and not take for granted. But I will say that there are lessons, of course, in each and every episode. So if you're just picking up, if you're just joining now, please go back and check out each and every episode of the Begin Within Health Show. But in particular, I will give you the episode numbers that contain the interviews that I'm going to refer back to in this episode. So those will be also in the show notes, so you can go back and reference them. But if you haven't heard these interviews, please go back, because I'm not going to recap the entire thing. I'm going to share with you the lesson that I've learned personally that's benefited me. And perhaps you can consider making similar adjustments in your life and routine, or exploring these areas more fully. These are things that have definitely impacted me in my conversations with clients that I've had. And these concepts, again, have left a mark on me that has impacted my choices and the things, again, that I'm doing every single day. So I want to share those with you. So here we go. Here are 3 of the biggest lessons that I have learned over the last 100 episodes. And by the way, if you want a little recap of the biggest lessons I learned in the first 100 episodes, go back to episode number, you guessed it, 100, and check it out there. In this episode, I'm also going to give you an amazing discount code. We have just set this up, and it's just going to be effective for the next week. There's already a deadline set up on it. So if you have been on the verge of getting involved in our coaching program, wait until you get to the discount code. It's ridiculous. It's the biggest discount we've ever offered, so it's very time sensitive, and it's very special just to commemorate this 200th episode of the Begin Within Health Show. So let's dive in to those 3 lessons that I have taken away from various interviews that I've done here on the show over the last 100 episodes. The very first lesson that I learned has to do with micronutrients. Micronutrients. We talk about macronutrients, protein, carbs, and fat. We talk about those a lot in fitness. If you've ever set up MyFitnessPal, it'll give you targets for those macronutrients. But in particular, the lesson that I took away from the last 100 episodes had to do with micronutrients. So those are vitamins and minerals. And oftentimes we are getting those from the foods that we eat, the macronutrients that we eat. But in many cases, there are some deficiencies, not just within us, but also in the foods that we're eating. And there are various reasons for that, which were described really well in my interview with Frank Davis in episode number 143. But the result for me was to take a look at the supplements that I was taking. Now, for me, I have read about, different vitamins and minerals, and then, okay, great, let's order some, let's try it, let's take it, let's see what happens. I've been pretty liberal about different supplements over the years, of course, and maybe you are too. Maybe you've got a cabinet full of vitamins and minerals. Maybe you got one of those little daily pill boxes for prescriptions or for those vitamins and minerals that you want to take on a regular basis. And I'm not recommending you do one thing or another. I'm not your doctor. Check with your doctor if you have any specific questions. But for me, I'm relatively healthy, but I'd read about the benefits of different vitamins and minerals, micronutrients, and then like I said, I would order it and I would give it a try. Now, what really was impressed upon me in the two specific interviews, I mentioned already episode number 143 with Frank Davis, also episode number 111 with Ian Clark, was the quality of the supplements that I was taking. Were questioned, right? And to be totally honest, I didn't have a lot of backing for the specific micronutrients that I was taking in terms of like where do they come from, where were they sourced from, how high was the quality. I tried my best to, get the ones that look like the highest quality, at least from the packaging and from the listing online. But for me, this is something I gave some attention to over the last few months after having these conversations with these experts. And it's something that led me to make some adjustments, make some changes in what I was doing, changes in the multivitamin that I was taking, and changes in even the delivery method of micronutrients that I was using. I know you're wondering now, right? The episode number 111 that I mentioned, we talked about hydration, and we talked about the minerals, in particular electrolytes, that really work best when we consume them as part of hydration, part of the water that we're drinking. So it's not just about getting wet fluid into our body, but it's about what it is that's contained in there, what's floating around in there, what's dissolved in that water. And electrolytes are delivered that way very efficiently, very effectively. But again, the source of them, where we're getting them from, is important. So it's been something that I have been experimenting with, trying things out. If you want any specifics, as far as hydration, follow Ian Clark. He's the interview E from episode number 111. Ian Clark from Activation Products, that company, and activationproducts.com. There, you can check out some of the things that he and his company offer. Also, not just in terms of hydration, but one of the things that I started to use is a magnesium spray, something that I recommend to my clients. Again, I'm not your doctor. I'm not telling you got to do this or that, but it's something that I've noticed has made a difference for me in terms of how I'm feeling, how my body is feeling, recovering from workouts, not having occasional muscle cramps that I've dealt with for most of my adult life, as a result of paying attention to micronutrients. So again, episode 111 with Ian Clark, we focused on hydration, but it took me to a place that I didn't expect. And that was to talk about electrolytes. And Ian Clark's company, again, activationproducts.com. If you're curious, take a peek. Episode 143 with Frank Davis, that interview, we talked a lot about vitamins and minerals, and he talked about one of the products that his company features. And if you're interested in any of their products, optivitahealth.com is where you can go. We still have set up there a discount code for you. The code is NATE15. NATE15 will get you 15% off any of their products. So again, I'm not otherwise affiliated with those websites that I just gave you, even the discount code just gets you a discount. So check it out. Go there, learn more. Micronutrients, vitamins and minerals, supplements, something that I shifted my perspective on big time as a result of the interviews that I had over the last 100 episodes. All right, moving on. Number 2. Point number 2, digestive health. This is one that I have talked a lot about. We've had so many guests on, and if I'm not mistaken, and I should have really looked back, now that I'm in the middle of this recording, I should have really looked back and looked at my lessons from the 100 episodes, the first 100 that I did, that recap in episode 100. We recapped those. It's possible that there's some overlap here, right? Wouldn't that be interesting if I'm learning the same lessons over and over again? But digestive health, huge. And research is showing this. This really overlaps. These interviews that I'm going to reference overlaps big time with the personal reading that I have been doing about gut health. So interested in it right now, and you should be too. Experts are finding that our gut affects our mental health. It affects our immune system. So, and of course, our overall health, the levels of inflammation in our body, so many things are affected by what is going on from our esophagus down to when things are leaving our body, right? So many things are going on. And so paying attention to digestive health is definitely something that has taken on a whole new meaning for me. It's something that we talk about more regularly as a family as well. The episodes where I had interviews with experts that really focused on the importance of gut health, digestive health, episode number 118 with Teresa Herndon, we focused there on blood sugar, but of course, blood sugar and blood sugar levels are the result of the digestive and metabolic processes that take place after we eat food, right? So the things that she shared there are things that can benefit not just blood sugar, right? We're not just trying to change numbers on lab values, but we're trying to improve health. So as we do some of those little hacks that she shared, we benefit our digestive health. Also, episode number 174 with Rosemarie Rutecki. Oh my. We talked about how gut health affects mental health in that episode. That's something that I'm sure I'm going to be exploring in future episodes. We talked about anxiety and depression and how what we're eating, the ways we're eating, can be impacting those areas of mental wellness. So check that one out. That was 174. And then 182 with Josh Deck was really just an awesome interview as well, where we focused on gut health specifically. And the lesson that I took from that one was paying attention to signals. We talked in that episode about how gut health is on a spectrum, and the diseases, the really horrible digestive diseases that are inflammation of different segments of our digestive system. Things like Crohn's, colitis, things that are just known to be some of the most debilitating diseases there are. What he shared with us in that interview was that those are on a spectrum. It's not just like flipping a switch. I either have it or I don't. Those are on the end of one end of the spectrum, and there are a lot of different levels before there that those are, far on the end of unhealthy digestive system. On the other end, we have the very healthy digestive system, and between there, of course, there's a spectrum. And paying attention to the things that are happening with our gut and our belly, things like bloating, things like indigestion, things like acid reflux, things like diarrhea or loose stools or constipation. Those things all are on that spectrum. And they are indications that there's something unhealthy happening and that our body's telling us we need to make some adjustments. We need to make some adjustments if those things are present, especially if they're present on a regular basis. So what I took away from that episode was paying closer attention to myself, paying closer attention to my digestion, not just taking for granted, oh, I'm a pretty healthy person. I eat a lot of veggies. Oh, that's weird that happened that day, that time. Whatever. But paying close attention and saying, why? Why did that happen that day? Why did I feel bloated? Why did I have diarrhea? Like, seriously, right? And I'm encouraging you to do the same. Start paying closer attention and realizing it's a signal. Start realizing your body's telling you something when those things are present. And we're expected, right, by those systems that are giving us those signals to do something about it and not just press on and ignore and keep doing the things that we've been doing. Because what happens, things rarely stay the same, right? They're either getting better or they're getting worse. If we don't do anything about those danger signals of dis-ease, that things aren't working properly, if we don't do anything about them, they're going to get worse and worse. So paying attention early, catching those symptoms of disease, tiny ones, early on, and trying to figure out what's the trigger here? What's happening? What did I do differently that got that result? And then maybe experimenting. Maybe it was this. Well, let's take this out and let's see what happens next time. Right? Paying closer attention to the symptoms, taking digestive health very, very seriously is one of my biggest lessons. And along with that, the things that we've done, that we've added in here are orders of food, eating food in different orders. So just imagine you've got a meal, right? Protein, veggie, carbohydrate. The carb, a lot of times, like that's the yummy one that we look forward to. Maybe we dive right in and we eat that first, right? I picture like chicken, broccoli, mashed potatoes. Oh man, I'm gonna go for those. I'm gonna take those down right away because they're so yummy. We digest things better when there's some fiber present. So eating the same foods just in a different order can benefit us. Take the fiber first. Eat the fiber first. I shouldn't say take the fiber. Now I'm talking about supplementation again. I'm talking about real food. I'm talking about fruits and veggies. I'm talking about fiber. Eat it first and notice how it impacts how you're feeling, how you're digesting. And along with that, fiber, we've talked about this as well in the last 100 episodes, the importance of fiber. We're talking about 25 to up almost 40 grams is recommended on average for human beings to be consuming on a daily basis. Most people, the average is 15 or less. So we're not getting enough fiber for good digestive health. We are simply not. And what I would encourage you to do is to pay attention. Just take a day or two. Just notice. Do a little research, find out what it is that you're eating. Don't change the way you're eating, just eat normally. But notice how much fiber you're consuming from those nutrition labels. Or just Google, your cup of broccoli. Find out how much fiber you're consuming on a daily basis. Are we getting around 30, right? Somewhere between 25, 35 grams per day? If not, guess what? We should have some symptoms of disease. Things aren't working well when we aren't giving our bodies the things that it needs in order to work well. So consider taking some steps to maybe increase that. Of course, don't do it all at once, but just consider. And again, I'm not a doctor. Check with your doctor if you have any concerns. I'm just telling you what the experts say. I'm just passing it on to you. Probiotics as well, fermented foods, those kinds of things help us big time with our gut microbiome, the little microbes in our gut, making sure that there's some a good balance of a healthy balance, I should say, as healthy as we possibly can, and avoiding things that kind of knock that balance out of whack. We talked about that in those interviews. So again, those episodes were 118, 174, and 182. big lessons for me, things that I am not even joking. We think about and we talk about almost every single day in our house. And that's the stuff that I've learned from the experts that we've had here on the Begin Within Health Show in the last 100 episodes. All right, one final lesson, and this one's a big one. And I'm going to try my best not to go off on a tangent here, but I just might. So hold on to your hats. This one came from episode number 173, my episode with Sherry Shaban. And it's something that I have talked about for years. It's something that I have been well aware of is an issue in the fitness industry, health and fitness. But the way that she phrased it is so powerful and it's just perfect. And so I found myself after that interview continuing to repeat different iterations of this phrase that when it comes to health and fitness, consistency trumps intensity. And maybe you've seen that online. You've seen it in a meme on social media. Consistency is more important than intensity. But for some reason, we still don't believe it. We still think if I go all in, if I change everything, if I start the crazy workout plan, if I go on the diet and I lose the weight, then I'm going to be good. I'm going to be good to go. And there are other versions of that are out there, right? Weight loss surgeries, different weight loss drugs that manipulate our hormones so that we're less hungry, we eat less, right? We're kind of just going all in. We're trying to manipulate what's happening in a major way. And the reality is this, at some point in the process, if we don't, instead of intensity, if we don't switch over into consistency, or we don't take on a lifestyle and a change in our lifestyle that we can consistently maintain, we're going to run into problems. We're going to feel like we're moving backwards. We're going to get frustrated. And hopefully we don't give up, but the danger is there. That if we're focused on intensity as the answer, that we will get frustrated when it doesn't work out long term, and we'll give up and we'll end up back where we were or even worse. So the question is, how can I be consistent about this? How can I take on things that I know I can be consistent with and then continuing to build on top of those things? And one of the biggest lessons I want you to take from this episode, me sharing the changes that I've made, is I'm in this with you. I'm doing this too. I'm 42 years old. I want to be as healthy as I possibly can be, but I'm also living a life. We go through busy times. We go through ups and downs, times when it's easier, times when it's more difficult to live a healthy lifestyle. But I'm in this with you. I want to do it for myself as well. So as I'm listening to the experts that we've had here on the show, a lot of times I'm being selfish. I'm just listening for myself. I'm thinking, oh my, this is really good. I got to change this. I got to add this in. I got to do something about this. As I'm happily sharing that information with you, those are also some of the thoughts that I'm having. I'm not sitting here as I'm done. I'm the model of health. It's not there. I don't think there's anyone on this planet who can't afford to continue to move forward with their health and their fitness. And in order to do that, the fitness has to fit your life. It has to fit you, not the other way around. If we're trying to fit ourselves in to it, it is not going to work long term. No way. All right. Enough from me. Actually, you know what? There's one more thing you need to know. And I talked to you about this at the outset. If you're thinking about getting involved in our coaching program, now is the time. Now is absolutely the best time to do it, because to celebrate our 200th episode, and we've never done anything like this before. This is pretty crazy, I'll admit, but we are making available a discount code for $200 off of our 12-month coaching program. I know it sounds crazy. It is all set for you. Here's the code. It's EP200, like episode, abbreviated, EP200. Go to beginwithin.fit/coaching, select the best value option, and use that code EP200 when you check out. You will get $200 off, and for the balance of that total price, you are going to get 12 months to work with us, to work with me, which is going to include full access to our app for tracking nutrition, tracking workouts, communicating with me, your coach, as well as access. And this is the most valuable part of the whole thing. Once a week, you get access to live coaching sessions with me. We do those every Monday. You're going to get a link to book in to as many Mondays as you want for the next 12 months. As well, you're going to get access to our Habit Academy, where you're getting regular habits to focus on every week or two. Specific habits that we have found make the biggest difference in helping you move toward a healthier direction. Get to the healthier end of the spectrum. They are the little habits, the little things you can do that have the biggest result in terms of moving you toward the healthier end of that spectrum. Getting to healthier. So EP200 at beginwithin.fit/coaching. Check it out. Share it with your friends. The discount code is only going to work until Wednesday, May 22nd, 2024. This episode is scheduled to be released on Thursday, May 16th. So there will be 7 days that discount code will work. After that, it is shut off. It's already set up to be obsolete after Wednesday, May 22nd. So go in there, get set up. Let's get coaching. Let's make this the healthiest summer of your life, because I am set up for it to be the healthiest summer of my life as a result of what I've learned, these lessons I've learned hosting the Begin Within Health Show. Thanks so much for listening. Once again, thanks for being here with me every single week. Please follow the show and then rate and review the show if you would. It helps other people to find the show as they're searching for health and fitness advice, health and fitness support. Please rate and review the show. And then, of course, if you've got somebody that you know wants to, along with you, get to the healthier end of that spectrum that we talked about, share this episode with them. And you're not just sharing the content of the episode, the lessons that Nate learned from the last 100 episodes of hosting the Begin Within Health Show. You're sharing with them a really big gift, $200 off the coaching program if they want to get started. So go for it. Thanks for keeping this show in the top 10% of all podcasts. And thank you for listening. Thanks for letting me do 200 episodes of the Begin Within Health Show. There are many more to come. I'm so grateful to be here with you. Keep taking good care of yourself.